Ninth graders in Holt are getting career pointers from those who know best, local business leaders, and some lawmakers, including Ingham County Sheriff Gene Rigglesworth. Overall, 150 volunteers will be on campus this week for Portfolio Days, where teens talk about their schooling, somewhat like a casual job interview. The principal says he sees a big change in the students during the week.
They're so nervous before they go through the process, and then they come out of it and they get this sense of accomplishment. They got confidence. Say, that wasn't that bad, you know, and it just carries through for the rest of their life.
The district says the program has proven so successful, it will expand it to the upper grades.
So today we went through the portfolio presentations. I actually had a lot of fun with my presentations. I had a police officer and a businessman. And I talked a lot about my extracurricular activities, what I like to do outside of school, and then kind of progressed to in-school topics.
The interview process for me was pretty easy. I was a little nervous at first, but when we actually got in there, the panelist was very helpful. He asked a lot of questions, which made it easy for me to keep going and fill up the time.
Well, the portfolio presentation experience was very interesting. It was a lot of fun. I had heard a lot about it from before I did the presentation, and I was a little bit nervous at first, but as soon as I got started and met the nice lady that was doing the presentation with me, it was very easy. I felt like we were just having a conversation.
A piece of advice I would give would be to go over everything you have and look over what you plan on presenting and try and make it as recent as possible. I mean, 7th grade stuff is okay, but if you have current projects and assignments, it's a little bit more up to date. You know a bit more about what's going on, and I think they're a little more advanced.
Some advice I'd give to a student up and coming to the presentations would be to just don't be nervous. It's easy. Just talk. Don't think of them as like a power above you or anything like that. Just make sure you come in there with good eye contact, have a firm handshake, and that's a good way to set a first impression, and then they'll respect you for the rest of the interview.
The best piece of advice that I would give students who are coming into this presentation would be to prepare what you're going to say and really prepare the bits of information before you present, just so you know the flow of the information and how that's going to go, so that you're not just skipping around from different pieces of information. I would also give the advice to be confident when you walk in. Don't be so nervous and frustrated and confused, because it's really easy. The people are really nice, and just act like you're talking to one of your friends.
And I thought it was really easy. I thought it was a great way to learn like what I need to prepare for an actual interview, and just the kind of things I need to work on. Like for example, I need to work on filling up my time and slowing down and not saying so.
Being able to pull all the preparation together, get artifacts from your life to show really the core of who you are in that little bit of time is a good experience, because then when you go for an interview or college or for work or college, then it makes that process easier. You know where to go to find the stuff that you need.
I think that this portfolio presentation has really helped me to see what type of presentation that I would have to do within the careers that I'm going to be pursuing. I think that it helps you to plan ahead for how to present yourself in job interviews, and it just gives you a little bit more confidence with adults.
What I'm looking for when we're doing these interviews is the initial contact is extremely important. How they walk up, how they approach, if they look confident, they shake the hand, introduce themselves and tell us who they are and where they're from, maybe a little bit of their background. It's extremely important. Then they'll sit down, and I really appreciate how they then get into the discussion of where they want to go and what their goals and objectives are for their careers.
First of all, I think it's a privilege to be a panelist. I really, truly do. And what I'm looking for is the excitement that these youngsters are looking forward to, being part of helping them look forward to the future.
Some of the things that I am looking for when a student comes in to interview. I mean, both in how they present themselves verbally and just in the way their mannerisms are. The number one thing that I like is confidence. I've been asking all of the young people, are you nervous about this? Or are you feeling a little bit? And most of them, some are very confident and good for them, but most of them will be honest and say, yeah, I'm a little bit nervous by this. You're talking to two adults, they're strangers, you're showing them what you've done so far, you're probably thinking that they're judging you, and I can imagine certainly when I was in ninth grade, I would have felt very insecure about that. Even if I was doing great, it could be difficult.
You know, one of the things we're looking for in their presentation is their organizational skills. And so what they really want to do, I'd strongly encourage them to, before they come in and do their presentation, to kind of have it laid out exactly what they want to cover and when they want to cover it. It's extremely important. It shows their confidence, shows their abilities, but also shows their organizational skills.
In the 7th grade, they're introduced to the portfolio program, and it's not real hard to select each year, 7th, 8th, and 9th, from all their hard work and put it in a folder and put a smile on their face and come and present it. They should be proud. That's as simple as it is.
Don't be ashamed to bring in something that you didn't do good at. One of the best presentations I saw was a young man, he brought in some older work, and it was bad. They were bad grades. And then he talked about how that motivated him and how he now gets better grades. And I think me and the other interviewer were really impressed by that. So don't be afraid to start gathering up everything you got. And even if it's not great, show how it affected you. Because that's impressive, even if the grade itself isn't very good.
Well, I think there's a number of very valuable points with this type of interview, and I'm really glad to see the schools are doing it. First of all, it gives them some confidence in talking to some adults. And I know we have the adults in school, the teachers in home, but these are people that they have never dealt with before. It's going to be very, very similar to an interview panel. A lot of them, even at this age, are interested in trying to get their first jobs. And hopefully, by us being there, they can see, you know, kind of what we're looking for, and even as a hiring manager or something to that effect.
I think it's a very healthy thing for a young person to know that down the road they're going to need these skills. And I'm hoping that it goes not only from the 9th grade but to the 10th grade to the 11th grade, and it helps with their career planning. It helps with them to think through, you know, their life skills. And this is a tool that opens the door for that.
And one of the main things I've been doing is looking back and what if I had to do this in 9th grade? And I think I'd have struggled with this, quite frankly. So this can be a bit of an overwhelming process, but I think the skills you get from this brief interaction with adults who are strangers to you, I think it's extremely valuable. Your whole life, you're going to have to go and get comfortable trying to meet new people. If nothing else, to be able to interview with them and introduce yourself to them, make some small talk. I mean, this isn't like a job interview necessarily, but I think this gives you great job interview skills.
My name is Mitch Zajac. I graduated from Holt High School year of 2008. Went to school at Western Michigan University, where I studied mechanical engineering and German language. I also have a master's in mechanical engineering from Western. Currently work at Chrysler as an engineer, and I'm also going to Cooley Law School in my free time, I guess. Being involved in the portfolio panel, I remember my freshman year was a great experience. It definitely gave me great practice as far as what I would look forward to with job interviews or different speaking engagements, whether it be talking to the news or whatever the case may be, through sports or through just talking with people in different professions and trying to figure out what I wanted to do when I was growing up. The portfolio panel was a definitely good way to practice just being professional, speaking to people, being clear and concise with what I wanted to portray to them. But then look, now it's a great perspective to actually be able to come back and see, maybe what I looked like at that point of view or that time, and then also give them my point of view from where I am now as a more of a professional. What I remember most about Portfolio Day here at Holt was really the preparation that was involved in being able to give a good presentation. I remember I spent a lot of time making up nice little worksheets and drafting everything up so it kind of looked nice and it flowed well with what I was going to say. So the preparation, not only with that portfolio, but just I've learned as I've gone through, college at Western Michigan, now being at Cooley and working as an engineer, preparation is key in everything that we do. And so being able to practice that firsthand with this portfolio presentation was, I guess you can't really weigh it. It was just immeasurable. My biggest piece of advice for the portfolio presentation and also for just goals in general is to find something that you're passionate about. I think that'll really show when you give these portfolio presentations. If you're passionate about what you're speaking about, then the person that you're presenting to will just automatically gravitate to what you have to say. They may not necessarily even know what you're talking about, but if they can see that you're passionate about it, that's going to go wonders, not only, again, in the portfolio, but as you go on and take job interviews and you meet different people. Having a passion or a purpose is key to your success.